Well, as soon as Brad gets this last bolt out, given our looseness, I think the front cowling here is ready to come off. And I'll grab a side. Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Rubbing on the front?
No, it's this piece of sheet metal, I think. Really? Really? That's it? Yeah, okay, we're gonna have to get that out of there. That's where that nut driver. Man, I forgot about that. The problem is somebody, not me, ran into the grill there. And, well, it doesn't slide out as easily as it should. So I guess we could probably have slid this whole thing forward, but we got the snowplow mount on the front. Oh, boy. Oh. I'm not getting any leverage in here. Okay, there's a way we can cheat. There's a big enough socket over here. Of course, that's not really deep enough. But I hope these bolts aren't in there that tight. We can cheat. Make our own little leverage device. I need a deeper socket. Got it. I knew Dad would have this 15/16 over there at the combine. It's like half the bolts in that thing were 15/16. That's because I should have grabbed the 1 inch. You're making it work. I think you're supposed to have a 1 inch socket. And that stubby little 15/16. I thought it started. It was just too shallow. Well, apparently not. It's just too shallow. And didn't start at all. Let's see if I can muscle this by hand. Our bolt collection. Yeah, I go to junkyards, you can never find these grills. I've looked and looked and looked, and it's most of the time, unless they had a guard, somebody's figured out how to run into them and mess them up pretty good. So that's always a losing proposition to get a new one.
That was back. This was the loader tractor, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The 3-point loader tractor is what did that. So.
Because somebody backed into it. Okay, we're hitting on something over there. Just. You mean you've got it? Shoot! Don't tell me this. I don't want to have to take the frame off for the snowplow. But that's about what it's shaping up to. Unless that'll bend out of the way enough. That's what, oh geez, that's gonna be a lot of bending.
Doesn't look possible.
That's a lot of bending. I don't want to bend it that much. I don't think. unless we can get just magically. To be fair, it's out of the way enough. Well, not anymore. It was. If we can perch it up nicely. Now, if we can just hold it right there.
Oh, we can. It's in my front.
And down low.
Is it?
Yeah. But if we get enough stuff out of the way, like, well, that's the balancing act, as if it'll stay.
Okay.
That I think we can get in here enough to get the radiator out.
Okay.
We need to drain it.
I mean, I'm resting over here.
What?
I'm resting over here.
Well, you know. We're gonna need 2 people to get the radiator in and out.
Yep.
But we can get the radiator loose. First, we probably should drain it. Yeah, that looks nasty. I'm not worried about saving that.
No, it's pretty very nasty.
But we probably need something bigger than that jug to drain into. And we should probably get this out of the way. I'm gonna find a bucket.
Does it have to be a particular bucket?
I guess. Well, shoot. The problem is what do you drain it into? There's a drain valve over here. Not that I can get it loose. Arrgh! Pliers. I need something shallow to catch this in. Yep, that drains out right there, all right. But it's draining right on the axle. Unless it's gonna squirt out or something.
I don't see how that's gonna work out.
We need something short though.
Something short.
Yeah, to try to catch it.
Hold it here.
No, like on the ground. It's gonna run all over everything.
Yeah.
At least we're not dropping antifreeze everywhere.
So you want wide?
I mean, we need short. I don't know about wide. We just need short.
To get underneath.
Yes. Okay, well, Brad's gonna go on a search. I gotta take the air intake line off here, and these 2 bolts, the radiator bolts in from the bottom. I don't know if that's the most sturdy thing I've ever seen, but it works. And we'll get back with you shortly. Well, as the rain picks up, we were able to get the front cowling off. All nice and neat here, mostly. Just had to drop down our plow mount a little bit. Didn't have to take it all the way off. Just left the back bolts in there to pivot on. Now we're just down to the 2 hoses and the bolts at the bottom of the radiator. Which, that's the only thing I dislike, is how it's 2 bolts hidden right there at the very bottom. And you hope the stud is still solidly in place on the bottom of the radiator without too much rust growing or starting there. And then it's some soldering fun eventually. Well, that's this quick update on the project. Yeah, we're loving our weather. It was frozen 2 days ago. Now it's supposedly in the 50s. And tomorrow might hit 60. And for the weekend it'll be cold again. And then for like 1 day. And then we go back to warm. Be nice to have some winter for a little while. Yeah, mix things up. Have winter. Enjoy the cold. Not that I really like the cold, but if we're gonna have winter, let's not have this muddy mess. That's what spring's for. Yeah, there's a collection of those bolts going up there. Oh. Oh. Okay. Oh. That's how those work. Well, heidi-ho, folks. We got the radiator out. Yeah, missed a little bit of action there with the fluid spilling, but we caught most of it. right around this fitting. You can see it moves. It's just figuring out where exactly. I see at the top. You can see the crack on the top. You really gotta get in there. Right along that top edge. And I think where it's cracked. So maybe we can do some soldering around that. The fins look pretty good. Not too much dirt caked in them, I don't think. Of course, this is the back side, so most of the dirt will be on the other side. Looks like a very old car radiator. Look at your Model T, and they feel like they're about this size. Of course, modern car radiators are really thin, and they'll make them really wide. Yep. Oh, there, it falls out when I'm not trying to get it out. That's the other side. A little bit of schmutz and putz here and there. Little fluffy stuff. I think it's mostly clean. Well, now time's the real magical action to see if we can solder the tube connection on. Really hope we don't have to get a new radiator because the core is good, and that's typically the most important part because it does all your cooling with all the airflow. Probably. I wonder how the water pump feels. We put a new water pump when we rebuilt the engine, so I'd imagine the water pump should feel pretty good still. Yeah, not bad.